This is Blood's Bloodsaw, and you're watching The Squared Circle.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. September 23rd, 2014 is here, and it's the latest edition of the Squared Circle. We are here in front of a live, raucous crowd at the NHTV studio in North Haven, Connecticut.
That's right. Well, we keep getting bigger and bigger and bigger. We're going to have to expand the studio soon.
I know, pretty soon. I'm Hollywood J. Williams, as usual. Mr. John Zimmerman. The Thunderous One is on assignment tonight.
Yes, he'll be on assignment tonight and next week as well.
And next week as well.
Yes.
But we'll be touching base with him, I'm sure, at some point.
We're going to see him this Saturday, as a matter of fact.
This Saturday coming up is PWA's second anniversary.
Yes.
Moved from its original location of the Balcony Banquet Facility, so you don't have to worry about messing up the name now, to the New Haven Boys and Girls Club, Columbus Avenue, New Haven, Connecticut.
Very good, yes. Yeah,
right.
The Boys and Girls Club. From what I understand, at some point, PWA will return to the Balcony Banquet Facility, but for now, we're at the Boys and Girls Club of New Haven.
New Haven.
So if you need the information, it's Pro Wrestling Academy CT.com. You get all the information you need, as well as the card, which we'll run down in a little bit. But yeah, it should be fun. We'll be there. We have our own table. Come up and see us. We're going to have a superstar to be named later, exclusively at our table, and you can see our new backdrop, which we'll have there. And
definitely, that's a great backdrop right there.
Yeah, two matches for the PWA Squared Circle television title.
That's right.
Yeah, so the tournament begins this Saturday, the 27th. And do you want to run that down now, or do you want to run some WWE news?
We can go with that first if you'd like.
Yeah, while we're talking about it, the two matches that we have leading up to who's going to face for the inaugural PWA Squared Circle television title will be your friend.
He's not my friend.
No friend of mine. Your friend Saru versus the original 203, Lucas Sharp.
Well, I like Saru. It's just wearing the belt. Is that what's best for business?
I've never seen a monkey with a belt, so I'm not.
I've never seen a monkey with a belt neither.
I guess Curious George had a shirt, right? But I don't think he ever wore a belt.
Never wore the belt.
I don't know. Maybe Grape Ape had a belt. He was a monkey, right? Or he was an ape.
He was an ape. Apes
I'm
are
getting
bigger.
my simians.
Now, if it was an ape, that'd be an indestructible force, or a gorilla.
But anyway, the second match in the tournament for the television title is Troy Stevens, a newcomer to the PWA, and he's versing AR Fox. He's versus AR Fox, and AR Fox, just an amazing performer. And I've been to the PWA, and I've seen Troy Stevens in the ring working out, and he's got a real familiar vibe to him. He reminds me of somebody we've seen before.
Really?
Yeah. And it should be a dynamic match. I mean, here's two guys that are just high flyers,
right?
Off the ropes and some really daring maneuvers, and it should be fantastic. So I'm really looking forward to see, Troy Stevens, AR Fox. Who wins that? Saru versus Lucas Sharp. And
the winner of that,
yeah, we'll have a clash of the champions. Yeah,
the Squared Circle television champion of the world.
That's correct. Yes.
And they're going to defend it at every card, I understand.
Yes. Yeah. We will have exclusive rights for those matches, and you'll see them right here. If you're not able to get to the Boys and Girls Club of New Haven on Saturday, you're going to see the entire match right here on our show.
Just amazing.
Yeah. Also on Saturday, Sol Diaro versus James Martin Rigby. TNA's Davey Richards versus Heart Attack Tommy Mack. The Mighty Cubador, Dictator Dones, Pedro Juan Dones III.
Dictator Dones.
Versus Zach Gowen. and Gregory Iron. Zach Gowen, of course, from the WWF, man with one leg, and Gregory Iron, who has cerebral palsy. So, tongue in cheek, it's indeed a handicap match. But Mighty Cubador, Pedro Wandones, he's downright dirty sometimes, and taking on two guys.
But it's 2-on-1, the numbers
that's
game.
the handicap match, right?
Right.
So it should be interesting.
Whatever your condition, it's 2-on-1 is 2-on-1.
Oh yeah, yeah.
It doesn't even matter.
Right, exactly.
So the mighty dictator bite off more than he can chew.
That's possible. Every time he comes out, I love to see him on the mic. Pedro Wandones is just fantastic. I really love him as a performer, and it's just fun to hear him. I think he's one of the best heels in the business as we speak. Bar none. Indie, professional, bar none. I really think he's one of the best heels out there. The crowd really responds to him, and he just hits the nerves.
You hit the nerve when you can rile up an audience and make them hate you.
Yeah, and we'll have Bull Dread versus El Leon Apollo with DG Haven, and Hippie Dicky Moon with Lucy Diamond and Grappling Greg versus Buzz Bloodsaw, Chance DeMoss, and Jekyll. Jekyll's new to the group there, so we'll see his debut, at least in our neck of the woods.
Right.
And that is for the tag team titles. So, also on the card on Saturday the 27th at the Boys and Girls Club in New Haven, the return of Wrecking Ball Legursky, friend of the show. We've had him on. We've had a lot of these people on, actually.
Amazing. Glad to see him back after his injuries.
We're going to see the Oxbaker Old School title. Oxbaker Old School title will be on the line. Oxbaker is rumored to make an appearance, depending on his health. He's coming along better. He's made a comeback, which I'm really happy to see and hear about. Joseph Von Schmidt and I were talking about it, and Joseph Von Schmidt has been making several trips to visit Oxbaker.
I can see that on Facebook all the time.
Yeah.
He's constantly with him.
Yeah, and he was a mentor. Oxbaker was a mentor to Joseph Von Schmidt, and you can just tell, when Joseph talks about him that this is somebody that he admires, not just as a wrestling person, but as a true friend and companion.
Right.
And, somebody that he admires as a human being, not just as a wrestling icon. And speaking of Joseph Von Schmidt, he's going to be fighting none other than Abyss.
The Monster Abyss
The
from
Monster
TNA.
Abyss, yeah, and that's going to be for the PWA International title. And, that's just going to be a brutal match because, we've seen what both of these men can do. And
is the Monster Abyss going to take the international title back to TNA with him? Wouldn't that
it's
be
more
something?
prestigious than the TNA title is at the moment.
It probably is at this point.
And it's probably worth more, too. But hopefully we will see the new PWA International title and, of course, the PWA Squared Circle TV title, because we're still in production, and we've been going back and forth, and Joseph Von Schmidt has been having issues with the manufacturer, but hopefully, if we don't see him this time around, we'll definitely have him by the next card.
We'll have him by the next card, so that's, you will see the prestigious Squared Circle TV title.
Yeah, well, you can see a photo of it on our page, and
right.
You can't quite make it out in the picture behind us, but you can come up and look at that firsthand, close up.
Definitely.
But we're really looking forward to the PWA 2-year anniversary, and we're glad to be a part of it, and we're proud to be a sponsor of not only the TV title, but like I said, we're going to have our own spot there. Come up and see us. We'll be signing autographs and shaking hands. And
you're rumored to be in attendance is one half of Double Trouble.
Yeah.
Bad News Bob.
Of course.
Actually, both of them are rumored to be there.
Well, they're welcome to join us as well. Of
Definitely.
Course, but come up and shake our hands, and we'll give you some autographs. And
exactly.
We're going to have some merch for sale, and it's going to be awesome.
Double Trouble can be seen Wednesday nights at 8 o'clock on BCTV, our sister station out in Brantford.
Yes. Yes.
Same channel 99, AT&T Uverse.
Yep.
Talking about sports, politics, current events, to illegals jumping the fence, like they like to say. You know, they put a funny spin to the news every
yeah,
week.
you know,
It's just
the two
amazing.
of them have such a good chemistry together. I mean, you and I get along very well, but the two of them, there's just magic there.
Right.
And it's really fun to watch them, no matter what they're talking about.
They go back years. They go
Yeah.
back. 1996 was a banner year for public access wrestling shows when
Yeah.
you had myself with the show that I was on with Steve Cundy,
Yep.
Ringside Seat. You had PWI with Bad News Bob and Mr. Mike Cuomo.
Yep.
You had Billy Smith and his show. So, I mean, we had to talk about a ratings war, the big ratings war that was going on nationally between WCW and the WWF. And we had our alliances, but we all came together to promote wrestling.
Yeah, yeah.
That was the main goal right there.
Right, and there's no reason that we all can't get along, but you know, it would be nice. But
Those were the
hey,
days. Maybe
Yeah.
one day it'll be like that again.
Yeah, well,
Because it's you know, it just brings out the best in everyone.
I would hope so.
Definitely.
You know, I don't have an olive branch, but if I did, I would extend it.
Definitely. That's what counts the most. And anybody from any other show out there is welcomed to come to our table. You know, we'll be
Yeah.
there.
Yeah,
Definitely.
definitely.
Right.
You know, I have no animosity, and you know, I'm a peaceful man. And you know what? Thursday, 2 days from now, will be the New Year, and it's Rosh Hashanah. And
Oh,
it's
you're new, yes.
correct. And it's Rosh Hashanah, and you know, it's the start of a new year, and you know, we begin new, and you know, all the sin of last year is washed away, and you know, I would love to have it be that way.
That's right.
So be it.
I'm thinking 1996, 1997, we all got along great.
Yeah. Well, I wasn't part of the picture then,
Right.
but you know, hey, it's a new year, it's a whole new day, whole new attitude. Let's keep it.
Let's keep it
let's
like
keep
that.
it real.
Let's find out. Let's get to the major WWE news coming off last night with the pay-per-view Night of Champions. We'll talk about that in a few minutes.
Yep.
But the big news over the weekend is that Roman Reigns has undergone emergency surgery. This surgery to repair what the doctors call an incarcerated hernia, which could be a serious situation where blood flow is restricted in the lower abdominal region. WWE did not offer any kind of recovery timeline at this point. They're just saying months. They're just throwing time out there, I guess. WWE says it will be the time as to when Reigns can return is going to be decided by the local surgeon who performed the operation and WWE physician Dr. Chris Amon. Reigns was already in Nashville Saturday for the Night of Champions when the situation occurs. Now, we were talking about the big push that they were giving Roman Reigns and, you know, the momentum leading up to WrestleMania 31 next year. Now, what's this going to do to Roman Reigns' push? Are they going to have to go back to the drawing board for WrestleMania at this point?
You know, again, like you said, it depends on what this month's means. Is it 2 months? Is it 3 months? You know,
Full disclosure, I had one of those operations myself
Yeah.
a few years ago,
Okay.
and I was on the shelf for about 6 weeks.
Okay.
But that's me. Now, Roman Reigns is much bigger than me, of course.
Right, and is much more active as far as, you know, physicality. Not saying that you're not an active. I mean, you do the road races, and but you're not getting kicked in the head either.
No.
You know, so, and you're not doing the spears, you know, and what have you.
No.
So I mean, it's a different animal altogether. So you know, again, we're going to have to wait and see, and you know, always have a plan B.
Always that. You
So-
gotta always have that.
Sometimes you need a plan C.
Oh, we're still working on Plan C. That's another story.
Yeah.
But hopefully he's back. You know, maybe he's healthier than I am. Not that I'm not healthy.
Right.
And hopefully he's back in the next few weeks. It only takes him the same 6 weeks it took me, and then it's not really going to make too much of a difference.
Well, as we've said with Daniel Bryan and some of the other fellas that have gotten injured, there's no point in rushing it and re-injuring yourself,
Right.
and putting yourself at risk. Follow the recommended procedure. Make sure you're 100% before you come back in, because it just makes it that much worse.
Right.
To come back in and they write you back into the storyline, and then you go back out.
Funny thing about hernias, they could happen. All you could do is cough and get a hernia. There's no way of pinpointing if it's
right. There's no way to predict
it's
it.
work related or not.
Right.
So it's
we wish him all the best, and hopefully it doesn't take away any of his momentum, because here's a young guy that obviously has worked hard to get in to the spot that he's in, and this is his shining moment, much like Daniel Bryan, and to see him go down, and hopefully he doesn't lose that momentum.
Definitely, we don't want to see that. But, as far as right now and the here and then, Dean Ambrose is going to be replacing Roman Reigns on upcoming shows. For example, this Friday night, there will be a house show at the Izod Center in New Jersey. The main event is still scheduled to be John Cena taking on Seth Rollins, but now the semi-main event leading up to the main event will now be Randy Orton versus Dean Ambrose in a street fight. So anybody in the, looking to see wrestling over the weekend?
Yeah, I think we have a similar card coming to Harbor Yard in October 5th, I believe.
Right.
Whatever the first Sunday is.
The first Sunday in October.
The first Sunday in October.
And they're coming to the arena, the Harbor Yard here in Bridgeport, and the card reads much the same. It's a house show. So obviously you're not going to see any title changes, anything major.
No.
It will be entertaining, I'm sure.
Lately I've been attending house shows when they come around, and Raw I was there too, but it does not look like I'll be in attendance for this one.
And
but
yeah, strangely enough, the one at Harbor Yard is at 5 o'clock, which is an unusual start time. But I think that's great, because it gets you out earlier, and they have to make it to Raw the next day, so that they're not traveling as late at night
right.
as they would be.
Raw's probably not anywhere near here.
Where's Raw the following Monday?
I don't do scheduling.
Oh, sorry. Our crack staff will have
Our
to get
crack
on
staff, yeah.
Yeah, we're in the Yakko.
We're gonna have to pay him a little extra. That's all.
it. Yeah.
Find that out for us.
We'll take it on a Mr. Dacey salary, since he's
all.
not here tonight.
He's not here tonight. Yeah, Mr. Dacey can pay for that. But here are the Night of Champions results. I would give the card probably a solid C+. I think it's probably a little bit better than some of the previous minor pay-per-views, although it's a minor pay-per-view. Not much happens on a minor pay-per-view, in my opinion, anyway. But
I definitely thought the Sheamus Cesaro match stole the show. So based on that alone, I would have to give it a B, or above, just based on that match. That was just fantastic. Those two guys really showed what the whole card should have done. They went out there and gave it their all.
it's a Cesaro match.
Yeah.
Cesaro and Sheamus too. They're workers.
Yeah. Ironically enough, two guys that are not from the United States fighting for the United States Championship.
Right. Hey, only in America.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they put on a great show.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sheamus in that match retained the U.S. title.
Yes.
Which, as I predicted last week, I predicted Cesaro. So there's one wrong so far on my predictions.
Right.
Goldust and Stardust are the new tag team champions as they defeated the Usos. I predicted the Usos in that one. So there's two wrong right
Perhaps
there.
I'm glad I wasn't here last week to make bad predictions.
The Miz captured the IC title over Dolph Ziggler. There's three wrong right there.
Well, although he lost it the following night.
Although the following night he lost it back to Ziggler on Raw.
One of the shorter Intercontinental title runs.
Probably not the shortest, but one of the short.
Yeah, less than 24 hours.
Less than 24 hours later. maybe they shouldn't have booked that match so soon. I don't know. No surprise here. Rusev defeating Mark Henry.
Yeah.
Rusev's got that. I almost start calling him Rusevberg. He's got this undefeated
Yeah, he's got
streak
the undefeated streak going on.
going on.
Yep,
I
yep.
was- So it makes you wonder who's going to be able to knock Mr. Rusev on his rear end.
Be interesting.
It's going to be interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you don't have a Big John Studd around anymore.
No.
We need somebody like
Yeah,
Big John Studd.
one theory we talked about over the weekend, maybe perhaps taking Brock Lesnar and making him a face.
I don't know.
He'd beat Rusev, though.
I don't know if they would go in that direction.
Brock Lesnar is a face, see, that's the only thing.
Yeah.
The only person he could fight as a face would be Rusev.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. Who
Yeah,
else is he going to feud with
I think they're going to leave Brock as he is.
as he is right now?
Yeah.
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 It's gonna make you wonder.
It was on the 5th and you go to the Barclays Center.
They have to go to the Barclays Center the next day. Well, that's not
2 shows that day.
They're running 2 shows on that? Yeah, but 2 different cards.
right.
Yeah,
to the-
in Pennsylvania somewhere.
Ah, okay. And then the Barclays Center's not too far.
No,
About
exactly.
hour and a
They
half.
could even take the train if they had to.
Yeah, yeah. Subway
pretty-
drops you off right in front of the Barclays Center.
In the arena.
Technically. But getting back to the results, AJ Lee is now once again the Divas champion, defeating Paige and Nikki Bella in a 3-way.
Hey now.
I was on a losing streak last night. It's a good thing I didn't have any money going on here because I predicted Nikki Bella.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, I like AJ Lee, so
Oh, I love crazy chicks too.
I dig crazy chicks.
You
Right,
gotta dig the
right.
crazy chicks. Paige is crazy too.
She just doesn't look right. She is. I mean, Sheamus is pale, and Paige is just white. I mean, it's like, wow. I don't know if they spray her that color. I mean, that's just. I mean, Sheamus is the natural pale. She is unnatural, like gothic. Like those goth
Right.
chicks you see in the Hot Topic.
She's probably a goth chick.
Yeah. I mean, she's just too. I mean, white. I mean, it's not even a skin tone.
Right?
I mean, it's like, oof.
Spray on white.
I don't know.
What it is.
I mean, I guess some of the guys have spray tan. She's got whatever the opposite would
They
be.
gotta start the chant for Paige. Tan.
Right,
Tan.
right.
Tan. I don't know. But what did you think of the main event? John Cena wins by DQ over Brock Lesnar due to interference by Seth Rollins.
I think it was a cheap way out, really. But I don't know what else they could have done. I think it was I don't know. It was kind of cheesy the way it happened.
Yeah, I guess they have to make you have to make Cena win, but you don't want to give Cena the belt.
Right.
I
So-
guess I can take it.
Oh,
I mean, I guess
it's just a way to extend the feud a little longer. and,
extends the feud a little longer.
get some heat for for Seth Rollins.
Get some heat for Seth Rollins. Make Cena win, even though he doesn't win the belt.
Right,
Fans
right.
are happy.
Yeah. Yeah.
I guess everybody got what they wanted. Lesnar gets to keep the belt.
Yeah.
Cena gets the win.
Yeah. Nobody
The
really.
fans get to have mostly boo him. But,
Yeah.
whatever.
Right. And nobody really got a beat down.
Nobody really got
I
to
mean,
beat
Cena got
down.
knocked around a little bit, but
Not like he did the last
not,
time.
yeah, right. Not,
Right.
What, 16 suplexes or whatever that
Right.
crazy number was.
This was
16?
the stats were he was on his back or whatever. 52,
Yeah, some ridiculous number.
52 seconds or something, or not 52.
2 seconds of offense.
52 seconds of offense compared to what, 5 minutes on his back or some ridiculous.
Something like that. Yeah,
Yeah, I can't remember the-
Somebody actually took the time to actually go ahead and do that.
Yeah. But
Break it down by seconds, numbers,
yeah,
whatever.
I mean, obviously you knew we were going to see some extension of that feud, and I guess that was as good a way to do it as any.
Right. So it extends the feud to whatever the next. Maybe they'll fight at Survivor Series.
Yeah.
Maybe Hell in a Cell is coming up.
I don't know if I want to see Cena and Lesnar in a Hell in a Cell.
It might come to that though.
Yeah, because then Cena will really, 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 really get his butt kicked.
Right.
and I'm being nice
Yeah.
in my.
Of course, Tom wants to see Cena get his butt kicked.
Of course, a lot of people do.
Yeah, I think most of the actual wrestling world would love to see Cena get his
Right.
butt kicked.
Right.
See what happens. That's the next one coming up. Last night, the main focus of Raw was John Cena and Dean Ambrose then wanting revenge on Seth Rollins.
Right.
I love the way they brought Dean Ambrose out of NOC.
Yeah. I mean, it's good to see him come back, and obviously he's going to have a strong run now. And what I'm not really liking is the way the Total Divas action, on Sunday is dictating what's going to happen with all the Divas on Monday. I don't know if you're watching.
I haven't watched Total Divas.
In tune with Total Divas.
No, I'm not at all in tune.
Now, they even say what dates or what time frame Total Divas is. So Total Divas happened like at least 3 to 4 months ago.
Right.
And what the action and feuds that are going on in Total Divas are affecting the storylines that are happening the following night on Monday Night Raw. And it's like, wait, there's no suspension of disbelief. You're telling us that this happened, 3 months ago, and now you're still mad about that episode.
4 months later.
Yeah, it just breaks the continuity.
They
for me.
shouldn't really say that it was 4 months ago.
Well, I mean, obviously they show him in the arenas and at the pay-per-view events, and they showed Daniel Bryan come out and announce that he had to go for surgery for his neck and all that, and so we already know that timeline in their own heads.
Right. So that's
I
kind
mean,
of
there's no hiding it. Right.
Right.
So it kind of breaks the continuity and takes you out of the storyline.
You think maybe they need to film Total Divas a little bit more current?
Yeah. Instead
That'd
of
be
being
the only option to
right.
film it maybe a week in advance instead of 3 or 4 months in advance.
Although Natalia dragged Summer Rae out of the back of the rental car and smacked her around. That was enjoyable.
Right.
Because I'm not a Summer Rae fan. But
No technical ability there. Just dancing and good looks.
Yeah.
That's about it.
I don't even think she's that good looking, to be honest with you. But
That's eye candy. Some of what the Divas division is, unfortunately.
somewhat.
Yeah.
Some of them can wrestle. Natalia being one of them.
Right.
But
If you don't get TV.
But interesting about the main focus last night was, like we said, John Cena and Dean Ambrose wanting revenge on Seth Rollins. Paul Heyman, Brock Lesnar, nowhere to be found last night.
money wasn't there. Cost-cutting measures.
Don't wrestle for
Yeah.
Cost-cutting measures. Lesnar does not wrestle for free.
Right. And he's only,
Heyman needs some time off, maybe.
well, Brock Lesnar's contracted, to X amount of appearances.
Right.
So they're going to use him sparingly, and to lead up to a pay-per-view or some major twist. They're not going to just use him on a random show. So I can understand that. Like I said,
Of course, he is the WWE champion.
Well,
The champion needs to show up a little. It's something they have to talk to him about, I guess.
No, the thing of it is, if you go back in your history, the champion wasn't on TV every week. It was never like that. I mean, prior, to, like before the Attitude Era, you didn't have the champion. Maybe you saw a promo with him. Maybe you saw, a highlight
Right.
from a house show or something. But you didn't see a title match every week. And you didn't see him, interacting every week. It wasn't
Ric Flair seemed like he was always there.
like it is. Yeah, I mean, they're maybe, like I said, doing promos or showing highlights of a previous match or something, but not every week on TV, and not defending a belt every week on TV.
No,
And
certainly not defending the
It
belt.
kind of lent itself to the title match was at the pay-per-view. The title match was a big deal when it happened. If you're going to have whoever is the champion on TV every week, defending the belt every week, it's not special.
But remember, too, that they have that rule that it has to be defended once a month.
And once a month they have a pay-per-view. So there you go. Mm-hmm. And that's really all it should be. It shouldn't be every week. You see this guy.
No.
He's the champ. He should be out, enjoying himself and the fruits of his labor. The champion in UFC fights once a year, maybe twice a year. I know it's a different animal. It's a different animal.
Altogether.
But it's special when that happens. It's special when if you look at boxing. I'm sure our good caller and friend Ed McCarver will tell you. You didn't see Muhammad Ali every week.
No.
And when you saw Ali come out and fight, or Frazier or Foreman or those guys, it was an event. If Aerosmith played your backyard every day, you'd be like, who cares?
You get tired of hearing.
They come
them
around
after
once a
while.
year, and you'd be like, wow, or your favorite band, just any random band here. But you know my point. It needs to be an event when you see the title being defended. If you're seeing it just on a regular basis, it's not special anymore.
It takes its meaning away.
Right. If your birthday was every day, wouldn't be a big deal.
Right. It comes around once a year.
There you go. It's like, woo! Or, a holiday or what have you.
If there was a Christmas every month,
Yeah.
it'd be really costly, that's for sure.
Not for me.
not for you. That's true.
There we go.
Exceptions to every rule.
There you are.
Right. Night of Champions was down 1 million in Twitter Nielsen TV ratings compared to SummerSlam. The number was, 1.805 million compared to SummerSlam's 2.808.
Now, is that pay-per-view buys, or is that people watching on the network?
Nielsen TV ratings via Twitter.
It's how many people are talking about it on Twitter.
Oh, how many people
Right.
are talking about it on Twitter?
It's just
Okay.
a Twitter compilation,
Oh, okay.
which
So-
it means something, but not really. 'Cause
Yeah.
social media does mean something. To an
Yeah,
extent.
I mean, I would like to see the actual pay-per-view buys, and I don't know if there's any way for them to calculate how many people are actually watching the network. I mean, obviously they know how many people are subscribing to it, but at any given time, they're running this Monday Night Wars
Right.
on a weekly basis. How many people are actually watching it? I don't know if there's a way that WWE as a network can gauge, how successful.
The only way for them to gauge it would be when it's actually on the network as far as what is feeding at that point. Because if you're going to go on what's on demand,
Right.
it might be a little more difficult.
But I don't know if they actually get that kind of feedback, if they know who's watching it and when they're watching it.
I don't know,
I'd be
because
interested to find out.
It's internet television. It's not.
right.
I don't
It's a
know.
streaming
I don't
service,
know. It's a
right.
streaming service. I don't think it's necessarily governed by Nielsen.
No, but I mean, it's just
Right.
just for the WWE
Right.
itself. I mean, if they're putting like they every week on Tuesday night they put on the Countdown show, and it's costing them money to produce this show.
Right.
If nobody's interested in the show, nobody's watching the show, then obviously you're not going to want to produce it, and you're going to want to put something else in that slot.
Instead, right.
But there has to be some way to gauge if somebody is interested in watching it. You understand what I mean?
I know what you're saying, yeah.
They know how many people are watching, let's say, Big Bang Theory by Nielsen ratings, by cable, your cable box.
I would think
can
by now
report back.
there's probably a way to evaluate that.
Well, if the NSA is watching us right now,
Right.
I'm sure there's some way.
There's got to be some way to
See, more
evaluate.
than 3 people watch us. The NSA is watching us,
Right.
and that's a massive
I hope
organization.
the NSA enjoys themselves
Yeah.
watching our show.
While we're talking about people watching us, I did get an email
You did.
from a viewer and fan, and if I can read that,
Go right ahead.
all right. I copied this down from the email I received. Dear Mr. Zimmerman, the WWE has been aware of your program for quite some time now, and we are impressed by your insight, commentary, and overall knowledge of our product. The weekly discussions you have show your true enthusiasm and passion for the effort our superstars give year-round. On behalf of the WWE, I would like to extend to you, Mr. Williams and Mr. Dacey, complimentary access to the WWE Network. As you know, the network is priced at $9.99 per month, but the service you provide merits much more than that. Please contact me if we can assist you with your exceptional program. Keep up the great work and know that we're fans of yours too. Sincerely, Stephanie McMahon, Chief Brand Officer.
Well.
It's nice to be acknowledged.
Nice to be acknowledged.
So, you know, I mean, you know, on various occasions I've contacted them. I've met the entire McMahon family, and they're just wonderful people. And it's ironic that, you know, we had Wrecking Ball, you know, and they say Wrecking Ball, and we had Double Trouble, and they say Double Trouble.
I know.
You know, and if you saw the video game,
I did not happen to see that. I wanted to.
yeah, they announced the roster of the video game, and Renee Young and Steve Austin were the hosts and moderators. And Steve Austin, on 2 occasions, name dropped the Squared Circle. So, hey, go back and watch it.
We're getting some feedback out
Steve
there.
Austin himself mentioned our show twice
Right.
in that 25-minute
Steve
press
Austin
conference.
mentioned our show.
Yeah, yeah.
we
Cold
got
himself.
connections here, buddy.
The Squared Circle.
We're moving up in the world.
So, you know, here's, you know, Stephanie McMahon acknowledging that we're doing a great job and, you know, taking care of us, and, you know, now we don't have to pay $9.99. That's amazing.
That is amazing.
You know, we get everything for free, man.
What do you? I tell you, you know,
It's great.
It's just
great.
amazing.
It's great to be me.
It's good to be king.
That's right.
That's exactly. So Sting last night. Now, they tried to hype it up that Sting was going to be on Raw last night.
No, I didn't catch that. He was on the video game.
Yeah, he was on he was on
press conference.
he was on a commercial during Raw
Right.
for the video game press conference.
Right.
And I guess somebody out there in the audience had asked him if he wanted to, you know, or he was actually in person, Steve Borden. Would anybody like to see the Stinger compete in the WWE? Like a little teaser right there.
Right.
Right.
They did, you know, during that press conference, he was asked, and he was cagey about it, and then Steve Austin was kind of teasing about it, you know, like, hey, well, you know, why are you being so evasive, you know, kind of.
Right.
And you know, hey, Sting said he would like to see it happen.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't mean it's going to, but he said he would like to see it happen. So
Against who is anybody's guess at this point.
Yeah.
Right.
But yeah, obviously, you know, Sting is in business with the WWE, not only for the video game. The DVD of The Best of Sting came out
Right.
today, as a matter of fact, and I received my copy. I don't know if you got
I
yours.
did not receive my copy.
Thank you very much, WWE. And they're actually recalling that because they have the fake Sting on the back of the DVD, on the back cover of the DVD. So they're going to recall it and
the old the
replace.
NWO Sting.
Yeah.
Was it? This is a different person completely altogether.
Right. Yeah, and so
Right.
you know, somebody's going to get spanked for that.
Right.
And it's like, oh, don't you know?
Oops, we forgot to put we put the fake
Right.
one on the cover.
Right.
Oops.
Somebody must have been going through some old photographs and just made a collage,
Right.
you know, of different versions of Sting, and there he was.
Yeah, that was a version of Sting, but it wasn't Steve Borden
So
playing
if
the
you
Sting.
haven't gotten your copy, you know, this cover may be, you know, may be valuable because it's a mistake.
It's a mistake. Mistakes happen.
But I haven't got a chance to watch it yet because I was busy all day. But I'm sure it's going to be fantastic.
I'm sure. We also would like to express our condolences here once again at the Squared Circle. Apparently, this came over on a Facebook page. Michael Moody, who is the son of WWE Hall of Famer, the late Paul Bearer, has also himself passed away. The announcement was made on his brother Daniel's Facebook page. Michael and Daniel Moody both appeared at last year's Hall of Fame to induct Paul Bearer. Or not to induct him, to accept the induction.
Right.
Right.
I'm sorry. Excuse me.
Cause of death right now, we have no idea.
He was a young
Unclear.
man, though. Right.
Right.
I forget his age, but not very old.
No.
So yeah, that's terrible.
It hasn't been that long since their father passed.
Right.
Right. So it's just a very, very heartbreaking loss.
Yeah. It seems like the wrestling world, you know, I guess in celebrity, things happen in twos and threes. So hopefully that's the only one in this, you know, in this time frame.
Right.
But yeah, that's a sad thing.
Right.
And again, I can't remember I looked at his age when I read the article, and I was like, wow, what just a young man, you know.
Yeah, we had our share of tragedy last week too, as you might have heard of the passing of Kevin Tennyson
Yes,
here.
yes.
From the NHTV.
You know, I didn't know the name, but I've seen the clips and, you know, watching the show last week and, you know, the tribute you guys did and some of the stuff that's been going on here at NHTV. I'm like, yeah, I know this guy.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I recognized him from, he did The Last Days of the Coliseum.
Right.
And he was on that documentary. And I'm like, that's the guy. He was such a big New Haven hockey fan.
He was here one day when we were just before we had gone on the air, maybe about 3 or 4 months ago, in the editing room. I don't know if you recall or not.
I don't recall. No, I'm so sorry, but no.
Yeah.
But yeah, when I saw that, you know, and Walter Mann had put the announcement up, I'm like, yeah, I know the name, and then, you know, The Last Days of the Coliseum posted it. I was like, that's the guy. I was like, wow.
The original wrestling show here at NHTV, he was on that. It's
Yeah.
a character named Mr. Kevin Tennyson. So
Yeah, yeah. And,
Again, our hearts and thoughts and prayers go out to the entire Tennyson
yeah,
family.
you know, and you know, New Haven hockey was such a huge part of my childhood. I mean, we used to go on a regular basis, New Haven Nighthawks, and just New Haven Coliseum in general was such a big part of growing up in New Haven that it was just crazy. You know, I mean, and now it's not even there anymore.
Right.
34 years old?
Wow.
Mr. Mooney, 34 years old. Yeah, that's a young man. That's
young man.
younger than us.
Sorry to see that
But
happen.
yeah, I mean, going back, I mean, New Haven Coliseum, that's where when Mario was on, that's where I saw Mario. I mean, we used to stand outside the Coliseum, and this is when, you know, WWE was really much, you know, a regional thing in our area, and the guys used to, you know, drive up in their own cars, park right across the street, and just come up to us and shake our hands, and you know,
Back in the
I
day.
mean, you know, Johnny Rods, Dino Bravo, Valentine. Andre the Giant, you know, I mean, just unbelievable, you know, Don Morocco, Snuka, you know, I mean, back in that, you know, in the mid to late 80s, you know, we used to stay, and it was no big deal. I mean, the guys came up to you and they shook their hands, they gave you autographs. It wasn't like this wait in line for 5 hours and paid $50, you know. Guy just walked out of his car, hey guys, how you doing? Shook our hands, you know, signed their crap, and, you know, and just said, oh, we'll see you inside. You know, and some of the wrestlers even had some extra tickets, and, you know, and hey, you know, did you go into the show tonight, guys? You know, did your dad get you tickets? Right, and would, you know, literally hand them out, you know. And it was just great. It was a great time. And New Haven Coliseum was great. I mean, I remember just even sleeping out on the sidewalk for tickets when you actually had to go buy tickets at the Coliseum. And we would sleep out the night before the tickets went on sale. And somebody would have a little hibachi, and you'd have, you know, it was a party, you know, all night long. And then tickets would go on sale in the morning. You have them in your hand.
Yep.
Yeah. And it was just great. It was a really good time. And you know, I remember I was 14 years old, Section 3, Row 4, Aerosmith with Pat Travers, right, New Haven Coliseum, you know, and
all the wrestling I went to see there, the monster trucks,
oh yeah, you know,
Harlem Globetrotters,
yeah,
I remember.
yeah, and you know, that was such a huge part of our, you know, growing up, and you know, it's not there anymore, and like I said, Kevin Tennyson just covered that, and you know, with such a huge knowledge of that time and era, and you know, watching him and the love that he had for it just brought back all that, you know, to me, you know, of like the Nighthawks and, you know, New Haven hockey. It was great.
Great. He's going to be missed around here, definitely.
But you know, all of that, you know, especially in that particular documentary, The Last Days of the Coliseum, you know, he'll live on.
Definitely.
You know,
We'll continue to improve our product just as I know he would have wanted.
Yeah.
So definitely, we'll move forward in his memory. Definitely.
Yep.
One of the inspirations for me to start out a public access career here.
Yeah.
And you know, Kevin and Walter Mann, of course. Great.
Yeah.
Great
yeah.
people.
Yeah, definitely. Walter Mann's one of the busiest guys I've ever met.
Oh, really? I know.
You know, I mean, I don't think I've ever faced the man. I think I just see his back as he runs away, as he runs out.
He comes in and out quickly.
He's like, yeah, hi guys, gotta go. See ya. Have a good show. Boom.
Yeah.
And it's like, wait, what was that?
I think he's up to like 10 facilities where he's running now or something like that.
He's
I don't know.
always running around, man. You know, he's just a busy guy. But you know, he is a great guy. And honestly, you know, when you do need him, you know, he's right there for you. And
Definitely.
one of the most knowledgeable people. You know, and he's, you know, the success that his proteges, you know, and the people that have come through here. You know, I mean, we can walk out and look at the board and see how many
tell
people.
you right there, proof positive.
Right, how many people have gone on the ESPN? How many people are at News Channel 12? How many people are at True TV? How many people are working over at the facility where Jerry Springer is now in Stanford? You know, they're shooting Maury, Jerry Springer, a couple other shows. You know, all those daytime talk shows are now in Stanford, and a lot of the people that worked behind the scenes here are there and on ESPN, and you know, and I'm going on
Definitely.
to bigger and you know, bigger and more successful things. And Walter Mann is definitely the mentor, and you know, the one piece that, you know, put it all together for him.
Put it all together. He's,
And we couldn't
he's
be
the
more-
measuring stick
yeah.
around here.
Yeah, and we couldn't be more proud. And,
Exactly.
you know, we got somebody down at Full Sail University, you know, working on NXT right now.
Exactly.
That was doing our show.
Well, wow, I definitely remember him.
Yep. So I mean, it's just great. You know,
Just great.
It's great to be here at NHTV, and you know, obviously Kevin Tennyson is a big part of that, and Walter Mann's a big part of that.
Definitely. But so we'll switch gears here quickly because we're running, you know, not
Yeah.
terribly running
Yeah.
out of time, but
Right.
we're nearing there anyway. Not too much mentioned anymore. TNA No Surrender scored a .088 rating, up slightly from .083. Yeah, they're moving up in the world. Apparently they are, according to some viewers. I mean, there's slight improvements there, so maybe they're not dead yet. Drew 1.1 million viewers, improving 6% from the previous week. On cable, Impact ranked number 39 in overall viewers, number 15 in males 18 to 49, number 18 in males 18 to 40.
That's a
Dixie
color-
Carter too
Sorry.
was on an interview with an ESPN reporter. She said it would be sad if TNA were no longer around.
Well, duh.
I
Sad
think-
for her because she'd be out of a job.
Sad for her and a lot of other people too.
Yeah, we poo-poo on TNA a lot, but you know, I really want TNA to improve themselves and get better because, as we say again and again, you need somebody
Right.
breathing down your neck to be better.
Right.
You know, and Vince and the WWE will get stale if there's no competition.
It's been advised to me that they're, you know, improving somewhat. Even Aubrey said too. She's a couple weeks ago when she was on, said
Right.
she viewed a couple of the TNA impacts, and they weren't that bad to her anyway.
Yeah, you know, and we had a caller call live from the tapings in New York and said,
Right.
they, you know, they were really great, and you know, the talent is there.
Right.
You know, they need to, you know, up their storylines, you know, make them more realistic, and they need to find an identity that isn't what Jim Ross labeled as WWE light.
Right.
You know, they need to do something like the X Division was, like the six-sided ring. They need an identity that defines them as something different and, and an alternative to what we're watching on Monday Night Raw.
Definitely. That being said, let's go to the Thunderous one here quickly. If we can do this the right way here. Hello.
I think you just dumped him.
I just dumped him.
Oh,
I dumped Daisy.
that was him. Tom,
Thunderous. Call up real quick. Try again. I think I dumped him.
yeah, call back, please, Tom.
Yeah. I've had a great show. Now I dump our co-host. What is up with that? I'm the worst of the week.
Worst of the week.
That's
there
me.
He is.
That's
There he
me.
is.
But
No, you know, while we're on worst of the week, if we're oh, here he is. I will say that the worst of the week is WWE Magazine closing
I think so.
The final issue is on newsstands now, and has reached your home if you were a subscriber. And about 75 people are no longer working for the magazine, and it's a shame.
It's a shame.
It's a great publication, and we've got them here on the desk. You know, and,
that's one of the, that's an issue from a year ago, I believe.
yeah.
Let's try this again,
That's too
Mr.
bad.
Dacey. The speakerphone button. That would be that one.
Yeah. There
Let's
we go.
try
Yeah,
this.
you don't know how to use the phone yet?
There we go.
There you are.
There you are.
What's wrong with you, Hollywood?
I don't know. Too much partying over the weekend.
Oh,
Hey now. What's
Good
up there,
evening, gentlemen.
What's
Good
up there,
evening.
Thunders?
Not much, but Jay, I heard you mentioning you weren't too good on your predictions. If you remember correctly, neither was I this weekend.
No,
we were
you weren't. I didn't say you.
We were pretty much on target, though, you and I. We basically had the same predictions, so I didn't do too well myself either.
Well, it's a good thing we didn't bet any money. I bet money
we're
somewhere
lucky.
else, but not on Night of Champions.
hey now.
Loving the background, John.
Thank you. Yeah,
And
I had that
good
commission.
to hear that we're getting some praise from Stephanie herself.
Yeah, I was surprised to find that email. I don't know how she got my private email, but you know, I guess they have their ways.
Right.
Obviously, somebody's watching.
Somebody's watching.
Yeah,
You're right about that.
definitely.
And very anxious for the beginning of the pursuit for the Squared Circle TV title. And I still say that Saru's going to make a monkey out of Hollywood J.
Saru will do no such thing.
Your thoughts, John?
I'm going with Lucas Sharp.
You know what? I'm gonna have to go with Saru. But as far as Troy Stevens versus AR Fox, you know, I think we're all winners in that one because it's going to be a hellacious match. It's going to be, you know what?
I'm interested to see
Maybe
both
short
them.
of Joseph Von Schmidt versus Abyss, I'd have to say that Troy Stevens versus AR Fox is going to steal the show.
I would tend to agree with you on that.
And you know, and I'm not downplaying any of the other fine wrestlers and talents on this card because it is it's a really stacked card. I mean, how are you going to go wrong with Grappling Greg and Dickie Moon and Buzz Bloodsaw and Chance DeMoss and Heart Attack Tommy Mack always gives it his all and Connecticut Beast, HTA Bull Dread. I mean, just to go on, the card is just stacked. But Troy Stevens, AR Fox, and Joseph Von Schmidt versus Abyss are going to be the two just knock down, drag out.
Knock down, drag them out.
Call the neighbors, wake the kids, write home about it.
I did hear you mention I have to take care of our crack staff tonight.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah. I
Okay,
mean,
we'll take care of that. We'll take care of that this weekend.
hey, you know
take
what?
care of that.
I mean,
Hook 'em up.
now you're saving $9.99 a month. So we got
Right.
a little more in the budget. That's $9.99 times 3. What is that? $29.97.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
It adds up.
So we got I'll throw in the 3 cents and and say we got $30 in the budget now. So
But I'm very happy to hear you mention Kevin Tennyson once again. As I stated last week, he is the one that coined my nickname, the Thunderous One.
I thought you got that for another reason, but
No. He explained it last week.
Ah.
Yeah.
That came from Miss.
because I've heard some thunderous noises from you every now and then.
No.
Hey now.
Hey now.
Looking forward to this weekend. I can't wait.
Yeah, we definitely need to get you there, my friend.
I know.
Because it's going to be huge.
Well, I do believe Hollywood J is sending his limo over to get me.
Okay.
The limo and the brand new GPS.
Well,
And if
Yeah,
the
don't
driver
forget
gets us
that
lost,
GPS
he's going to
thing.
be terminated.
I will be on site early, and I'll be doing some reporting before you guys are even in the building.
Right.
And it's going to be fantastic. I cannot wait for this card is just huge. And
Definitely.
I hate to report this, but as you said, I will not be there next week either.
right.
Right. We informed the audience.
I will be on assignment next week.
Yes, yeah, and that's that's quite an honor. That I don't know if you're going to announce it or not, but you know.
I will be appearing, believe it or not, at our sister station in Wallingford as a guest on Time and on Tap.
Yes. That's awesome.
Wow,
You know?
Wallingford wants you.
Looking forward to that next Tuesday.
Yeah.
And as we always say, see you next Tuesday.
Yes, we will see you next Tuesday, but we will see you on WPAA
Right.
Yes.
next Tuesday.
We will see you Saturday.
Unfortunately, I can't be in two places at once.
Finally,
which I could.
the Thunderous One returns
To Wallingford.
to Wallingford.
Hey, when Wallingford calls,
Yeah.
you gotta, gotta do
Maybe
what you
I'll
gotta
have
do.
to use that. Maybe I'll have to use that next week on the show.
You're gonna have to pay me now. Hey now. All right, Tommy.
All right, Tommy, we're gonna be wrapping
All
things
right,
up here
great show,
shortly.
guys. And John, I will see you in a little bit.
Yes, I will. I will bring your check.
Right.
Okay, thank you,
Make
sir.
sure it doesn't bounce this time.
There we go.
Take it easy,
Thank
sir.
you, Tom.
The Thunderous One,
Of
as
course.
usual.
Of course.
So getting back to worst of the week, probably less than 5 minutes here. 3 minutes now. The runner-up, the Sting DVD recall.
Yep.
And my worst is whoever, I can't remember the name of the source, but I saw it over the internet over the weekend. Unnamed source, let's just say, let's leave it at that, saying that Vince McMahon is considering scrapping the network altogether and maybe trying to get a cable deal for the network and charge more money for it. And because his advisors have told him it was a foolish move and he's not making any money, he's actually losing money on it. And I don't believe it.
I don't believe it.
No,
I don't believe it. But
it's just one of those things you got to believe.
I know
believe 75.
they've won a handful of awards, something like 17 awards for the streaming service, and so people out there, their peers are recognizing what a great job they're doing, and what a great product it is, and for guys like us and people that watch us, that it's a great thing. I mean, the network is just a wrestling fan, dream come true. No longer do you have to have a room full of DVDs and VHS going back in the day. I mean, it's all right there on demand at your fingertips. More than you could ever watch in a month, unless you live in your mom's basement, sit there all day.
Well.
But I mean, for guys like us, I mean, we'll never have enough time to watch all the content on the network.
But by the time I've watched all the content, I probably won't know how to even turn the network on.
Yeah, and they're just always adding more and adding more. And as I said before, they've got original content, original shows, The Countdown, and this new production of the Monday Night Wars.
The Monday Night Wars. If you haven't seen it yet, I definitely advise anybody to watch it. It definitely tells the tale. I'm up to the third episode right now, talking about the advent of the Attitude Era.
Right.
And it's just amazing.
I'm already past the Bret Montreal Screwjob and Bret.
I got some catching up to do.
Yeah.
I'll have to do some catching up and let everybody know about it maybe next week.
Yeah. Yeah.
But speaking of that, it's time to go. We got to wrap things up.
All right.
But good night and good luck, everyone.
Saturday, PWA 2-year anniversary. Be there.
Don't miss it. And plus, I'm gonna I'll post onto the page some interesting news, great news about Ring of Honor going to Northern California. The end of March.
Northern California, where the girls are warm.
Exactly. Good night and good luck, folks.
See you next Tuesday.
See you next Tuesday.
Oh, you blew it.